Now I fear that over here in the west they're all hogging the limelight, so what else is going on in the world? The Mamluks are still on their rampage south, so well done, Karsten. Forza making his way down south there. The orders still being picked upon, but it seems that Brandenburg are still in this separately. Perhaps all they want is their core. At war with just the Teutonic Order, whilst the Teutonic Order is just against Brandenburg. And not content with that, Brandenburg truly led by a militant ruler. They're gunning down Pomerania whilst they're at it. Well, no rest for the wicked. Now, how is that war going for our Danish friends? Actually getting pushed back a bit. Lubeck and friends trying to show the Scandinavian trio how it's done. Quartet even, since they have Holstein involved in all this. Troy Goodfellow not slacking, so I don't think we're going to assume they want to stab Denmark in the back here, although it would be an excellent opportunity if they wanted to seize their freedom. Now, this multiplayer has not been spontaneous. It has been in the works for rather a while. And that means everybody you see involved here, and there's a fair few of us. What's our count at? 20-something? They have been scheming. They have been forging alliances over the coffee table. Over the drinks machine, you know? People have been saying one thing to others and another to others. They have been forging their alliances, picking their enemies, and trying to dictate terms before the game even begins. See, this is the game where friends become frenemies, co-workers become co-belligerents. All is jovial when we're working together to bring you these games, but when it comes to playing it, every man, woman and child for themselves. France would never disgrace England by holding back, and the feelings are mutual. That said though, the English and the Iberian friends have yet to really penetrate into the center, the core of France here in Paris. Here the French and the Burgundians, they stand tall and proud. That said though, are they simply awaiting inevitable defeat? Manpower isn't, however, capped for France. They still have 15,000 on the back burner, whereas England are dry on manpower. Not only that, but they have taken a few loans to fund this war. This war of French aggression, let's not forget. Seems that something went terribly wrong for the French at the get-go. Yes, Western Europe is truly aflame, whilst peace reigns over in Eastern Europe. Austria, Hungary, Bohemia, they're all just chilling. They got no need to fight. Austria's so chilling, he's just leaving his armies on display for everyone. Going, I don't have to use them, but they're there. Not at all biased towards Austria for his naming of their heir. The Ottomans, though. Now, let's not forget, the Ottomans belong to the Anatolian tech group. Here they are. So that means if they were so inclined and they wanted Western focus, once they hit Admin Tech 10, they need only punch their way through to take Guyenne, or Danzig, or Prague, and they would get free westernization. Now that is a very tempting target. But is it tempting enough to stop their friendship with Hungary and Austria? Well, we'll have to wait and see if that's the case. At the moment, though, it seems to be in everyone's interest to have some mutual alliances here. After all, the Polish-Lithuanian bloc does not appear to be involved in this Eastern European alliance, so it could well be defensive against them. Well, perhaps I spoke too soon. Now, again, very much against how it went in the last one. It seems that people want to bring the Polish-Lithuanian bloc down, and fast. Ottomans, Hungary, Austria, Bohemia, Silesia, all of them trying to gun down the Polish-Lithuanian mega bloc here. Let's get a bit more information on this war here. So a war of Ottoman aggression. They took a 2 stability hit just to take the enemy by surprise. Not only that, but they took 2 war exhaustion. How do the numbers fare here, though? We are looking at an enormous army on the Ottoman side. And since it's a war of aggression, it's anyone's guess what they're wanting. Let's have a look over from the Polish side. The numbers not quite up to par, but the battle lines are interesting here since the Poles have allies in Saxony and Bavaria. Well, perhaps they had allies over in Saxony and Bavaria. Seems that these are the first places being hit by the mighty Ottoman coalition, designed to drag Poland and Lithuania down at all costs. Well, fortune favours the bold. Could it be that the Ottomans are making this attack by surprise? Could it help them out? Our suspicions may well be correct. France, having lost Poitou, will severely delay them in the colonization game. Now remember, we are playing with a random new world. We don't know what's out there. There could be land right here, just waiting to be taken. Or maybe it's much, much further away. We won't know that for a while, but let's see what Portugal knows. Portugal starting off with an explorer, making life a little easier for them. But no, all they've been able to explore so far is some of the African coast. Seems the Mamluks have a much more aggressive stance on how to explore Africa, taking it by blood and sword. They've expanded into some land that is a religious hotspot, so they may well end up with some revolts down there. That's clearly why they stationed troops there ahead of time, but that might affect them in any other military campaigns, particularly if they and the Ottomans come to blows. But speaking of coming to blows, I don't want to miss what's going on between the Polish-Lithuanian bloc and the Grand Ottoman Alliance. Could this coalition of powers be what it takes to give Poland and Lithuania an early grave? We've got some suggestions from the chat here. One in particular saying, wow, if I was the Mamluks, I would be jumping the Ottomans right now. Well, there are short-term gains and there are long-term gains. Now, if the Mamluks were to attack the Ottomans now, who's to say that the Ottomans and Poland wouldn't seek a fast peace for the benefit of Ottomans having their way with the Mamluks, putting them in their place for jumping them? Now again, oh my. Well, perhaps the Mamluks are just going to spit in the face of my idea there, because they have now allied Poland and Lithuania. And it's not out of the question that they could join in. But I wouldn't be surprised, given the Mamluks as a player, they'll probably be getting a feel for the situation. And the situation, I would say, very much in the favour of the Grand Ottoman Alliance. It'll take a while for Lithuania to make their way through the fortifications that Ottomans have built. Ever since common sense, these forts will block movement until they are taken. They can act as a safeguard, keeping the rest of the region safe, whilst the enemy has to waste time, men and money bringing down those forts. Then again, perhaps I'm wrong. Seems that they have already peaced out. I missed what went down there. But it doesn't seem that territory was exchanged there. I wonder what the Mamluks have as a long-term strategy here. That said, it seems that the AIs over in Bavaria and Saxony are going to be eliminated from this war rather quickly. That will free up the battle lines so that this alliance bloc can push very heavily into Poland-Lithuania. Now France is left licking their wounds, but that gives us an opportunity to check a new mechanic that has been introduced, and that is Trevan Schism. Now, when a country gets defeated in a war and stripped of land, stripped of money, stripped of much of what made it a nation, they are often left into a death spiral, so Revanchism has been introduced to give them a bit of a help up, so that when a nation is so thoroughly destroyed, up to 100% war score will translate to a 100% revanchism. And as we can see here, it gives a number of bonuses for them. This will tick away. I believe at a glance it seems to be 1 per month. But again, as I said, this is all hot code. The numbers could change, things could be tweaked. This is not final product. But yes, it's lowering their unrest, giving them extra tax, lowering their interest, which will be useful for France to pay off those loans, also boosting the morale of their armies, help them take out any rebels or people who want to jump them in their times of troubles. Yeah, France still sitting on a fair chunk of debt, almost 1,000 ducats. Looks like they've lowered their fort maintenance and their army maintenance, hoping to make that money back, pay off their loans, and lick their wounds. Meanwhile, England is left in an extremely strong position. The Iberian duo allied to him will greatly boost his own power, and even allied and married Scotland. Great British Union in our time, who's to say? Indeed, 1,000 ducats at this stage in the game is no joke. Now, how will the lines be changing between Hungary and Poland? Seems to be the main front line for all this. Neither side wanting to make a move, but that works to the Ottoman Alliance's benefit here, since Krakow is slowly being sieged down, whilst the Polish and Lithuanian forces... Actually, where is Lithuania? Lithuania is still in this war, but seems they have been too busy down in the Ottoman territory, leaving their forces divided like that. Perhaps not the greatest of moves, but we shall see. A further breach on Krakow, so things certainly not looking good for Poland. If their capital falls, then that's going to be a real blow to them. Will reduce their prestige, increase their war exhaustion, and the war score will tip most unfavorably for them. So interesting to see that one of our offensive wars between players, the French attack on England, disastrously for the attacker, whilst, although it's early game, seems that this war is going terrific for the Ottomans. Interesting to see that the Ottomans, though, are playing as the Grey Eminence here. They may have declared their war, but notice that a lot of their armies sitting back in Ottomans. Are they keen to commit to this war, or do they want to see their allies bleed out? It may be posed as a war of great advantage for the Hungarians, the Bohemians, and the Austrians. But are there ulterior motives for the Ottomans? All we do know is that it's certainly not going to be an advantage for the Polish or the Lithuanians. The few men that they can muster together, like lambs to the slaughter. It really sets the tone for these developer multiplayer sessions. Everyone here is out to win it. I wonder what other wars we have going on. See, Wiz over in England helping out the Iberians, subjugating Aragon. Of course, it is works in his favor to curry favor with his friends over in Iberia. If they build a strong alliance and a good amount of trust, then they'll know they'll have each other's backs. Yes, Aragon will be little more than a piecemeal for them, and if they bring down Aragonese prestige, then it will break the union that they hold over Naples. So yes, we're not even 10 years in, and there is war upon war going on here. It's no game of peace, I can tell you that. Now we kind of overlooked Timurids here, thanks to the progression of the 100 Years' War. You may see that Multan still exists here. They are now resigned to a life of servitude under the Timurids. They have become their vassal. An unfortunate start for Multan. They are a mere AI, but they have feelings, you know. But what of these provinces? What indeed of these provinces? Now, it seems that Timurids did not just come in here for the vassalization of them. Timurids straight up annexed that land and then released it. Okay, Johan has now joined us, the player of the Timurids.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys noticed that we had a player in Jaunpur at the start.
Yes.
And
things have not gone well for them, have it?
no, I mean, I didn't do anything against them even, and I had already told all the Indian players that I'm not going to be all that nice, but I'm not going to attack you in the first sessions. But the Jaunpur got eliminated. The interesting thing, though, Delhi, is that just look at my score as Timurids up in the... Where did I get my victory card on?
You've got a victory card
on Lahore.
Lahore.
And that means that, well, I'm going to want to conquer Delhi anyway if I want to from the Mughals, so...
But they were not so receptive to that and instead got demolished themselves.
Yeah, well, the Jaunpurs, yeah.
Yeah.
But Delhi's definitely a target of mine.
Oh, yes. So the question was, did you burn? Did you raise?
Yeah, I raised everything, but
Absolutely.
the problem was that my prestige tanked because it's still not fixed.
Yeah, the returning
yeah, it
provinces.
costs a lot of prestige, so...
So what Johan is saying is that when he marched into these provinces, he used the little raise province button and tore down quite a few settlements.
Yeah, it gave me quite a lot of power.
So by reducing the development in the provinces, he was able to gain development for himself.
Yeah. You can check the decisions for Mughals and you'll notice a fun little new thing. For Mughal Empire, check the triggers, is that we removed the reform thingy.
Yeah.
Instead you have to have conquered quite a lot of development instead. and that turns you into a non-horde because it's no longer
Yeah, reform or die is out the window there.
yeah. But it's interesting. I don't know if when I'm gonna reform or if I'm gonna reform. Just the option is interesting.
But how are you finding it? You enjoying burning places to the ground?
Yeah, the only problem is that it takes so long to march my armies from one side to the other.
Yeah, I noticed you had an outbreak of some Persians that wanted independence of all things.
The problem was that they kept reinforcing and I couldn't return promises because as I was at war and I wanted like chain wars.
Yeah.
Now I just need manpower to recover for a bit.
Oh, I suppose you haven't been seeing or hearing any of the action to the west, have you?
I've been listening on the stream.
Yeah,
because it's kind of like boring here, and I saw that Martin did some exploits as usual.
Exploits.
It's called like telling people what to do.
Real world exploits.
No, yeah, I mean he got his friends and attacked France. Did Burgundy ally with France, or were they on England's side?
Burgundy and France allied.
Oh, okay, so
and,
that's...
it was a war of French aggression.
Oh. Yeah, but France is winning something there.
Yeah, France is managing to claw something back here.
Yeah, I'm not counting out France yet. Where has France and England got their victory cards on?
Now France has got their victory card on Guyenne, so
Okay.
they're going to have to draw
Fighting.
blood with England again.
And where is England's victory card?
England have got it on Picardy, so
They're gonna...
yeah, there is no end to the war here just yet.
No.
All right, cheers, Johan. All right, so we had Johan in there telling us a bit about his time in the Timurids. And something we were touching on there that is a new feature brought in is victory cards. It's as good a time as any to explain them once again. We've already had a dev diary on this, but how about we see it in action? So right now, France, for example, because they are a nation with over 300 development, I can actually put a number to that, they have 309. Actually, they're a little close there. They have a victory card to take control of the area of Guyenne. So let's have a look at that. We can check it out on our area map mode. Here we go. So for France to gain their victory card, they would need to control, own and core these three provinces and make sure that nobody takes it away from them. So that means they're going to have to fight with England. And that was even before they lost Poitou. So, what's the issue with that then? Well, if they were to gain their victory card, and they get one bit for 1450, then it would tick up over the course of, I think it's 20 years, give or take, and they would get 1,000 points. Now, these developer multiplayer sessions are played for points. Points make prizes, folks. So there's going to be some real competition to see who can come out on top. And I mean it when I say points mean prizes. We actually have trophies here. Okay, let's snap back to this Polish-Lithuanian war against the Ottoman coalition. Safe to say things aren't going so well. Not even able to stamp down this little upstarting Austrian stack. Ottomans having pulled their finger out now, they are dedicating their troops to southern Poland. Sooner or later Poland will have nothing left. No leg to stand on. Such a shame for Poland, since they made early gains over in the Teutonic Order. But it seems that people were out for their blood early on. Brandenburg taking advantage of the chaos, though. Now, Brandenburg have been free to expand. They regained their core from the Teutonic Order, or what was left of the Teutonic Order. And, which is more, they've been working on Pomerania. We could be seeing a very strong Brandenburg in the making. And remember, when Brandenburg gets strong, they get very, very strong. Their ideas culminate together to make one hell of a fighting force. Of course, that's assuming that the Grand Alliance, the apparently Ottoman-led Grand Alliance, doesn't see Brandenburg as a threat in the making and decide to jump them. As Saxony have been pieced out. Doesn't seem that there were any territorial exchanges there, but that's going to help them since they don't need to worry about this region when fighting against Poland-Lithuania. Bad times for Poland-Lithuania. We have not been paying any attention to the Russian region here, but Muscovy seems to have been a bit timid about expansion here. And that explains it. Our Muscovite player must be away at the moment. So they're left in AI hand. They're at mercy of the AI. Now, when people are away for a session, they get protected, meaning they are not allowed to be attacked by other human players. They could, however, be attacked by other AIs. In that case, they're really just going to have to roll the dice and hope that the AI does it well for them. AI Muscovy should be able to take on those around him, especially if they're protected, so they should be okay. Now, France is very keen to assert dominance among the smaller countries around them in order to build up their power once again. They're wasting no time doing a land grab, but perhaps they should watch out for their own aggressive expansion. Let's have a quick look at that. They've gained quite a bit of it. They want to be careful just in case a player wants to form a coalition against them. And a whole host of AIs end up joining in. Things most certainly not going well for the Poles here. Now, although it's not related to this war, Danzig remains a very important province in the region. Much like the Anatolians, our Eastern technology friends here, Poland and Lithuania, at Admin Tech 10 they can gain a free westernization if they own and core Danzig. Even though all this is going on, they will be keeping in the back of their mind that they want to be the master of Danzig. Then again, Brandenburg may look to antagonize them by taking it themselves. Now, Danzig is no laughing matter. That's some good development and a great province to further develop since it's already there as an estuary and a center of trade. Strong province, dominates the trade, free westernization, what's not to like? Now the world is becoming relatively peaceful, but the big wars are still going on. Now we've got some action over here in Vijayanagar. Seems that they're not faring too well against the Bahmanes. Let's have a closer look at this war. Now Vijayanagar attempted a reconquest against Bahmanes. This is AI Bahmanes. So things going a little unfortunately for Azu here. Harks back to the Friday stream with me and Stephen, where Stephen played as Bahmanes and decided to destroy Vijayanagar. Could be that his spirit lives on there in Bahmanes and they are dominating. Vijayanagar have already lost their capital and are rapidly losing another one of their forts. War score very much not in their favor. Otherwise, the war still wages on against Poland-Lithuania, grinding them down. Even their last-ditch attempts are worthless in the face of Ottoman opposition. That said, though, all members of this coalition, Ottomans, Hungary, Austria and Bohemia, seems that only Austria still have a decent reserve of manpower left, partly due to them starting as the Emperor, which means they get a healthy chunk of manpower. Yeah, states in the Holy Roman Empire and those free cities, don't forget about those, contributing a fair chunk to the amount of manpower, the amount of muscle that the Emperor Austria can wield.